Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, it's not looking good for Kamala Harris and the Democrats. Behind closed doors, the Democrats are panicking. They absolutely have no way forward. And I have already made my case why I think Donald Trump's going to win this election. I have already stated, I think the writing was on the wall since 4 years ago when Joe Biden won the election of 2020. He massively underperformed in Wisconsin, massively underperformed in Georgia, massively underperformed in Arizona. With that, just those three states, Donald Trump just has to turn the knob to those three swing states by just 1 percentage point at least. Well, not even 1 percentage point, but just a little bit more than 0.8%. And he will ultimately win this election. It is not looking good for Kamala Harris. She has absolutely no support other than Gen Z tyrannical women who honestly are so uninformed and so emotionally deranged. Seriously, why do you want a woman president? Why? What? How does that make your life better? It makes you have good feelings. Okay, but it doesn't make your life better because in the end, we're still paying high gas prices. We're suffering with high gas prices, high taxes. We're sending money to countries that don't even need it, and we let our hurricanes just come in and destroy the country, and we don't even give aid for the aftermath, and we let illegal, undocumented immigrants come running in, trampling into the country, no restrictions. We give them food. We don't send them back. And some of those migrants are actually criminals. We don't hold them accountable. And you're telling me that Kamala Harris is gonna fix that. In the end, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because these people that are behind Kamala Harris don't care about issues other than abortion. But they don't care about a good, strong economy. They don't care about a safe border. They don't care about the crime that's going on in this country. They want two things. They want Roe v. Wade reinstated, which isn't going to happen. I'm just telling you, it's not going to happen. Why do you guys think it's going to happen? It's not. If it would happen, it will be overturned. Dobbs v. Jackson will be overturned in 50 years. And they think it's going to be overturned. I don't think so. Seriously? That's just unrealistic. How are you going to overturn it? And is the people following the Harris campaign that stupid? She's in office right now. She's vice president. All she has to go to the president's desk and say, hey, Mr. President, let's bring back Roe v. Wade. That's all she has to do. So really, talk about accusing Trump on running on an issue. You're running on an issue, Madam Vice President. You want people to vote in name of abortion. And you want people to vote because you are a black woman, so you claim. So, as you know, Kamala Harris is actually shivering in her chair right now as we are approaching 2 weeks. It is Tuesday, October 15th, and we are halfway through the countdown. Can't you believe it? But yeah, halfway through the week is Wednesday, technically. That's how I used to think. But when it comes to, in this case, when it comes to the said waiting, Kamala Harris is shivering in fear. And she is doing some weird stuff that we actually never thought she would be doing. She's going on Fox News, enemy territory, and after the liberal media told us that she didn't need to. That Kamala Harris doesn't need to do interviews. How well did that do well for her? Not so much. Kamala Harris had to prop up Barack Obama to flirt with the black men. Did it work? Nope. because all that did was prove that the Democratic Party is the party of ownership, the party of authoritarianism. Why can't Kamala Harris and Barack Obama respect that African Americans have the right to leave the base if they want to? And I'm going to say it, guys. I'm not going to be put down into this little corner. And you guys can think whatever you want. The Democrats want to talk about how bad the GOP is. We'll go back all the way back. Joe Biden said that Republicans are going to put African Americans back in chains. Now, if it was Donald Trump that said that, he would be done. He would be destroyed. But unfortunately, we live in a country that is totally biased. The media is biased and favored for the party of elitists, the Democrat Party, right? Now, going all the way in this case, let's just say in reality, the Democrat Party is the plantation. Okay? It always has been. And I'm mentioning this, and this could make a lot of my viewers uncomfortable. But you know what? It's the reality. The reality and the truth. And it's the truth that's not being told, and it's not being shown. The hidden truth. The Democrats want to keep bringing up slavery and compare the GOP with it. Okay, then you got to expect the Republicans to compare you guys with slavery. And I'm going to do it right now. Barack Obama is the slave master. Okay, he is the slave owner, the slave master. And he's telling African Americans, vote for Kamala Harris. Like, African Americans don't have the freedom to choose for themselves, right? That he is scolding African American men for branching off away from the plantation. And he goes and calls them, if you don't vote for Kamala, you're a bigot. Okay? You're not only a bigot, but you're a sexist. Unfortunately, Barack Obama doesn't really know what he likes to affiliate to as his own community. He doesn't know his own community. They're not emotional people. They really aren't emotional people, guys. African American, especially African American men, they're not emotional. A lot of people think they are emotional. No, they're not. They're actually very strong men. And I'm not saying this to be complimentary. I'm saying it because it's a fact. Because they are leaving the longtime party, because the longtime party that they were members of just now in general thinks that, oh, every single election, we're going to get the black vote no matter what, 90% clip. We don't need to do anything. Why should we go and help you guys? You guys are going to vote for us anyway, because you can't vote for the GOP, remember? GOP racist. Well, here's the reasonable, and most logical approach that the most logical and reasonable person says. Donald Trump is not a racist. He's not. He is a man that's easily taken out of context. And when you have the media, which is getting tons and tons of money for just making up lies about him, which really favorites an audience that hates him, all the media has to do is create this tyrannical story, take it out of context, and they get so much money from the Never Trumper TDS mob. They're getting money out of this guy. And it's not even true. Donald Trump's not a racist. Donald Trump can say things without thinking about how it can come off as. And to be honest, Donald Trump's not the only one that has that problem. Everyone, millions of Americans have that problem. We show them more respect and more understanding than we do Donald Trump. Donald Trump has this very normal personality. That personality can come off as egotistical. Yeah, sure, he may have a bit an ego, that's for sure. But are you kidding? We have the Democrat Party that refuses to this day apologize for the BLM riots. They would not condemn those riots. They would not at all admit that, you know what, we were wrong for having Joe Biden run for re-election. They have refused to admit that Joe Biden isn't capable of being president. They refuse. They said, no, we're just going to have Kamala Harris run, and we're going to force Joe Biden to step down. They will not even admit that they forced Biden to step down. They wouldn't even admit what happened behind closed doors. So we talked a lot. We absolutely talked a lot. I'm just saying, the grounds are changing. And we know this. Kamala Harris is not this superstar political version of Taylor Swift. She's not. Because we're in an illusion. We're in an illusion. And thanks to the media working together to create Kamala Harris into this big superstar. You could accurately call her as you know, now a political, as you know, like a political star now. But the truth was, just a few months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, her approval rating was 22%. And now it's all the way up in the 50s. Gee, I wonder why. What did Kamala Harris do to get a 20-point boost in an approval? She ran for president. Duh! And the media turned her into this big superstar. It's just so stupid. And the reason why she's getting a boost, because no one knows who Kamala Harris is. So, and a lot of people don't even know she has had everything to do with the disastrous Biden administration. A lot of people don't even know she's vice president. So how do you have a person that you don't even know run for president and expect to win? That's a problem, okay? Problem. Anyway, it's not just polls. And ideally, yes, Kamala Harris is still comfortably in the lead by national polls. But they realize taking polls away and pulling them aside, it doesn't matter. Kamala Harris is 2.4 in the average. Okay, but guess what? This was the same number Hillary Clinton was in. Did Hillary Clinton win while being 2.4, beating Trump by 2 points? No, she didn't. Because the Electoral College is in favor for Republicans. That it's a huge beneficiary for Republicans. The Democrats don't like it. That's why they want to get rid of it. But you realize without the Electoral College, then people from rural areas, their votes they're not representative at all. Because you have these big, big, big cities like Los Angeles, New York. They're the cities that matter. And sure, if you get everyone in the countryside voting, Democrats will always win the popular vote. So it doesn't matter if the rural the rancher from Wyoming votes, right? Why should people in Wyoming vote? Doesn't change the election either way. So with the Electoral College, people from Wyoming feel their vote counts because when they vote in intention to get Wyoming 3 electoral votes for Trump. If that makes sense. Now, there's other things and other reasons why Kamala Harris is not doing so well. Let's take a look at the Stein campaign. Now, Stein is actually, the liberal Democrats are just banging their heads off they're just going nuts because they can't fathom that Jill Stein is launching a Abandon Harris movement. An Abandon Harris movement. Meaning that we're solely going after Kamala Harris. We're not going after Donald Trump. In fact, Jill Stein's pretending she's running this race against Kamala Harris only. It's like a 1v1 between her and Harris. And Trump and Republicans have nothing to do with it. Because she knows that Republicans aren't going to go vote for her. She's not going to pick any Trump votes. As a Trump supporter, going and voting for Kamala Harris is not a Trump supporter. Well, I should say, voting for Jill Stein is not a Trump supporter. Why would someone who voted for Trump suddenly jump ship to vote for Jill Stein? Someone's just way on the other direction of the political aisle. So, and now, what she needs left-wing votes. Mainly Kamala's votes. She needs to take votes away from Kamala Harris. The more progressive left-wing votes she gets, the more what ends up happening is she gets to establish a further hold in the Green Party. The Green Party continues to build a bigger and better base. We want the Green Party to do well in this election. If the Green Party does not do well, Kamala Harris will likely win. That's a problem. Talk about ballot access, it's looking pretty good. This is probably what it's going to look like. Yeah, it's not looking good for Kamala Harris. You got the three states, the big three. Wisconsin, Arizona, and Georgia. You just have those 37 electoral votes. 37 electoral votes that previously went to Joe Biden by less than a percentage point. Trump, all he needs to do is turn the margin less than 1 point. And he could do that by himself, solely. Why does he need third parties to help him? Heck, you could possibly see Donald Trump win Georgia, Wisconsin, Arizona by over 1 percentage point, or 3 points, 2 points, with the help of Jill Stein, because Jill Stein, who is doing the best that she's ever had, ever before, it has implanted her campaign. She's officially on the ballot, officially running in Wisconsin, in Arizona, and in Georgia. All it takes is those electoral votes, and Donald Trump wins the election. The Democrats want to go in complete denial about it and bring up, it's not. Like, they'll continue to bring up the same talking points that Trump's a convicted felon. Nope, sorry. Convicted felon doesn't work. Because we could bring up Kamala Harris as a communist. Her father was a communist preacher. Does that correlate to anything? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Policy matters, and Donald Trump is 70% better known than Kamala Harris. Sorry. So, and people ideally are most likely to vote for the candidate they know. The candidate they recognize. They're not going to vote for a candidate that, like, and sure, there's people that vote because of identity politics. Absolutely, there's always going to be that person. But moderates are unlikely. They very unlikely vote on identity politics lines. They're very critical, and they do their research. And all you gotta do is pray that those moderates come across those stupid Kamala Harris word salads. Like that one interview by The View, where Kamala Harris stupidly just said that she wouldn't change anything with her change anything than what Joe Biden's doing. She wouldn't do anything different than Joe Biden. Wow. I mean, this should alarm the Free Palestine movement, because A lot of the Free Palestine movement has flocked to Harris. It's hard to admit, but it's obvious that the Free Palestine movement is not as energetic as it was before Harris announced her campaign. That's because, as the months going on, the Free Palestine movement said, hey, you know what? This person's a person of color, so, like she likes to call herself. She's a woman. We should trust her to be on the stance of standing up to this genocide. There have been most Free Palestine is against Harris, and they are endorsing and supporting Jill Stein. Not to mention, Jill Stein has a good narrative, okay? She's running as this Jewish American who hates Israel and is fighting for Palestine. This Jewish American socialist-like candidate fighting for Gaza. That's a catchy slogan, because seeing that how Jews have been antagonized so much by the radical left, Israel has been antagonized. This war, they're saying it's a war against Israel and Zionists. Meanwhile, you have someone that's leading the fight against the Zionists, Jill Stein, who is Jewish. This is going. I'm going to say, yeah, this is a good, absolutely great, in this case, perfect said match for her campaign. Stein is polling between 1.1% and 1.4% nationally as of September 25th, 2024. So she's already taking 1 percentage point out of Kamala Harris. One percentage point out. An August poll of 1,559 Muslims of the Council of American Islamic Relations indicated that 29% planned to vote for Stein. Not to mention, there was another poll that said that 44% of Muslims plan to vote for Stein, 17% to vote for Trump, and 12% to vote for, you guessed it, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris is losing to Trump when it comes to the Islamic Muslim vote. That explains how bad, the Muslims aren't even being fooled. They're not even being fooled by her fakeness. So, you imagine how others would feel about Kamala Harris's fakeness? Yes, Donald Trump will win this election. I have no doubt about it. In order for Kamala Harris to win this election, everything must go wrong. Everything. And in order for everything to go wrong, I would expect Florida to be, tilting Republican. That's, the same chances as Republican Harris coming up, barely losing in Florida. So I am feeling comfortable. Get your hopes up. I never, ever, ever get my hopes up. Never. I didn't get my hopes up during the midterms. I know a lot of Republicans did. And I wish Republicans did a lot of precautionary measures. But we need to never, ever get our hopes up. Because it might just be that our country is full and run by complete emotional idiots. It just might be. Or it just might be that the Democrats have implanted themselves so deeply into this election system that they can control every single outcome. AKA, they could rig the election every time. And I don't want a repeat of that. Absolutely not. I don't want a repeat of the 2020 fiasco. That was just unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary. So, yeah. This is what we're going to do. So what do you guys think in regards to our analysis today? As we are counting down halfway through week 3, we are going to countdown to week 2, and we can officially say we are halfway through our countdown. It's going to go by really quickly. So what do you guys think? Let me know down below. And as always, see you all in the next political episode.